This is The Scoop for Friday.
I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines. The city of Tampa is one step closer to possibly adopting a curfew for teens. May News 9 reports yesterday the Tampa City Council passed the first reading of an ordinance that would set a curfew for anyone younger than 16. The curfew would start at 11 p.m. except on weekends and legal holidays. The curfew would then begin at midnight for those situations. It would affect all of Tampa, but is being proposed in response to October's deadly shooting in Ybor City. The incident left a 14-year-old boy and a 20-year-old man dead. 3 people, ages 22, 21, and 14, are facing charges. Councilmember Charlie Miranda spoke in favor of the curfew.
There's one problem with this whole country, and it's called parenting. And we're not facing that. We're walking away from it. Those kids shouldn't be there. When I was 16 years old, if I came in after 12, my mother would beat the out of me. Whoa. In plain English, okay?
Councilmember Lynn Hurtak expressed concerns that the measure to set a curfew would have unintended consequences.
Government is not parents. Parents have made it very clear that they don't want government involvement in who and what they do with their children. Secondly, it's not about kids being out late at night. It's about the fact that they can stop anyone who seems possibly that they could be underage. There's a lot to this, but mainly my concerns are what happens when we actually do stop a child, and that has not been answered.
Council is expected to hear a second reading on the curfew ordinance and take a vote on January 25th. Duke Energy has completed a new floating solar panel project. WMNF's Chris Young reports that the unique technology only makes up 2% of all solar installations in the U.S.
The floating solar array features more than 1,800 solar panels that float on top of 2 acres of water in a pond at Duke Energy's location in Polk County. Shayna Fraley is a project manager for Duke Energy Florida.
It's a floating solar project with a very minimal land footprint.
The project took approximately 6 months to construct and connect to the grid. The array is small and can create enough electricity to power about 100 homes. Fraley says the floating solar hasn't had any negative effect on marine life in the pond. If this pilot program goes well, Duke Energy will consider expansion.
We could, in theory, add as many megawatts as we could with the space that we have in the water and then the grid limitations we have in the area as well.
It's Duke Energy's second floating solar project, with a larger floating panel powering a U.S. Army base in North Carolina. For WMNF News, I'm Chris Young in Polk County.
A federal judge hearing a challenge to a transgender health care ban for minors and restrictions for adults noted that Republican Florida Governor Ron DeSantis spread false information about doctors mutilating children's genitals. Judge Robert Hinkle said during the last day of the trial that DeSantis repeated his comments, even though there's been no such documented cases of doctors castrating or mutilating children's genitals. Hinkle said he will rule sometime after the holidays on whether DeSantis, the legislature, and the Department of Health deliberately targeted transgender people with the new law, or whether the law simply imposed reasonable restrictions to protect the public. Chris Marone resigned from the St. Pete Beach City Commission yesterday and walked out of City Hall in the latest local government shakeup. The Tampa Bay Times reports earlier this week, 4 of the 5 commissioners, including Marone, confirmed their intentions to resign before January 1st when a new state law takes effect requiring elected officials of towns and cities to file more extensive financial disclosures. Using a document called the Form 6, they must list their net worth, amount of income, itemized assets and liabilities over $1,000, in some cases, names of business clients. At least 18 elected officials in 9 Pinellas County municipalities and 3 in Pasco County have left office or will resign by the end of the year because of the law. For the weather, it is mild and overcast today in the Tampa Bay area. Highs today in the mid-70s. Lows tonight will be in the mid-50s. Sunshine and warmer weather tomorrow with highs in the upper 70s. I'm Josh Holton with the WMNF News headlines on 88.5 FM and the WMNF app.
This is The Scoop, recorded at WMNF Tampa.